Hello and welcome to the arena. I am Mundane Failure, and today we're going to be playing some Esper Control and Historic. This is the list I used in the April season to make it to Mythic, and it's a list that I found by a guy called Radio Magic. Link in the description to the video where this deck is originally featured. In that deck, he was playing only 3 Shark Typhoons and 1 Professor Onyx, or Liliana Dreadhorde General, rather, and recommended that you cut that for the 4th Shark Typhoon. After playing with it for a while, I determined that that was absolutely correct. So, pretty basic list here. We just want to control the game until we get a chance to stick a win condition and go down. So, pretty standard cards. I'm not going to go over everything, and we're going to jump right into the games. Game 1 here on the draw. We've got a Search for Kanta and a Baleful Mastery, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Plenty of lands. Control decks obviously want to draw all their lands, so pretty happy to have our lands, and I'm going to keep a hand. For the most part, I'm going to keep any hand that's got plenty of mana. Opponent is on Bant. So I know there's like a Bant-ish, a Bant control-ish list that plays Nissa. What the hell is this? Kicker 3. If it was kicked, reveal the top 6, put a land. Okay, so I do not know what the opponent could be playing here. I've never seen this card played. So it's obviously some kind of party deck. Can't be blocked if you control another. We'll go ahead and keep that. We might want to block that with a 1/1 Shark. So we'll play the Drowned Catacomb. Can't be blocked. Okay, so you can sacrifice that to give Indestructible. Rogue Warrior, Cleric, Rogue Warrior, or Wizard. So that is a wizard, so it can't be blocked. So we might want to block this, just because it gives a ton of power, or deals a ton of damage here. I'm going to take 6 here. Obviously, we're looking for some kind of Wrath. There's plenty of mana here. So we're probably going to want to block with a 2/2 Shark. Get a trade out. And this is where these Shark Typhoons really come in handy. More lands are not what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and trade. And I don't think there's anything we can draw that'll get us out of this. But we'll look at our draw step. That doesn't do it. And that doesn't do it. Okay, so we want Shadow's Verdict. We want to eliminate. We can go down on... I mean, I don't know if we want Inquisition against this opponent. A Hand Disruption's not really good enough. We really just... I mean, Shadow's Verdict is going to be the best card in this matchup for us. I'm going to go down the Inquisitions. I think they might be the weakest card in the matchup. Cling to Dust can gain us some life, or cantrip for us, so we'll keep that in. Oh, we have a Wrath, so we'll keep it. And we'll go ahead and play out the Search for Escanta here on 2. We'll go ahead and graveyard that. We can play the Search, or the Hallowed Fountain tapped. Seasoned Hallowblade. It's a tough one to beat. We'll go ahead and keep that. Counter their next play. Yeah, we'll counter that. Okay. Counter target non-creature spells. Controllers play is 1 plus an additional 1 for each creature in your party. We'll go ahead and graveyard that. We want to hit our land drop. And now I regret putting away what was it, a watery grave?
Focused and disciplined. Meditate and prepare.
We'll take Cling to Dust here. It'll cantrip us. Take 5. The opponent's not committing anything. Well, now that we hit our 5th land drop, we'll go ahead and graveyard that. We draw land anyways.
Hone your prowess.
We'll take Absorb here. And I'm going to play Teferi. We have another one of that counterspell. Holy shit. What is this deck? I mean, this is definitely not a meta deck that I've ever seen before, but it is going to steamroll us here. Another Seasoned Hallowblade. That is brutal. Well, we might be able to get 2 cards out of their hand here. I'd imagine they discard 2 cards to keep their Seasoned Hallowblades alive. Because they've got us pretty close to dead. In pre-combat, we're gonna eliminate one of these. If they want to keep it alive, they'll have to tap it, so we take 3 less damage this turn. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna be enough. Lindvala. We draw Eliminate. We cast Wrath. They sacrifice Lindvala. Their turn, we use the Eliminate. Go to 1. And then I don't know what we draw. Shadow's Verdict. It's pretty much the only thing that'll do it for us. Third Seasoned Tallow Blade. And that is not what we needed. So we will scoop it up, take a loss to the weirdest deck I've seen in a while, and go from there. And we're back with game 2. We get to go first. This looks like a keep to me. We'll pay 2 life to Inquisition on turn 1. And we're playing against Phoenix. Take care of that Prismari command. That's a good discard outlet for them. Cling to Dust is going to be a good one for us here. So we'll go ahead and hide that information until we can exile a Phoenix. Do I just want to cycle this Shark Typhoon? I don't think so. It's a pretty decent blocker. Okay. They pitch 2 cards. Resolves. Stormwing Entity does not resolve. Would have been nice to have drawn a land there. Curate resolves. Faithless Looting is fine. So they'll get 1 Phoenix back. Hopefully we'll draw a land here and be able to trade with the Shark Typhoon. We do. Sprite Dragon. We'll let that resolve. Chart a course. Most of their spells are sorceries, so I'm actually happy to trade with the Sprite Dragon here. If they had hit a land drop, which they didn't. We had our second white source for Wrath if we want to do that. Here, we'll play the untapped land in case they don't do anything and we want to scry to. But I can't imagine they won't do anything that we don't want to counter. Baleful Mastery, obviously a good answer to the Phoenix, because they don't get to bring it back. Fatal Suiting is fine. To the graveyard goes 2 lands. We'll just go ahead and scry 2 here. Happy to keep Day of Judgment. Second Wrath is fine. Let's play that tapped. I don't plan on Baleful Mastery for the student cost. We'll just go ahead and exile this now. Had we kept the Glacial Fortress, we would be able to absorb, so something to take note of. If we Narse it, we can hold open Absorb. Maybe he attacks the Narse it, which will gain us some life. Heartless Act. Perfect. If he was going to go face, I would have taken the damage. Drake is fine.
I am just the trick.
Memory Lapse is a good draw. Ooh, Wrath. We're in a pretty good position here. Phoenix will get absorbed. I'm happy to pay 2 life here. They're able to string together a couple of spells. We will Cling to Dust the Phoenix. Yeah, but with that Narset in play, I don't think there was any way they were going to be able to. So we want Shadow's Verdict. No, we don't. Shadow's Verdict is bad. We want Despark, Aether Gust, Rest in Peace. Taking away their cantrips isn't that great. Eliminate is fine? No, eliminate is bad. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Not in love with Teferi in this matchup. It's just a bit slow and clunky. Two lands with removal and a memory lapse I'm going to keep. Little sketch, but opponent on the mulligan to 5. So maybe our sketchy keep is going to work out. Keep top with opt, hit their land drop. I think we want to save this Cling. As much as we want to cantrip, I think we're going to save the Cling to Dust for a Phoenix. I'm going to hold up Absorb here. Curate is fine. Two non-Phoenixes at the graveyard. Sprite Dragon. We'll Absorb. And that does it for the opponent. The other consideration was just to memory lapse it there to make him redraw it. But I don't know what would have been better. But, I mean, Absorb got the job done, so I'm happy to see that. And we're back. Get to play first again. Plenty of land. I'm going to keep it. Again, it might be a little sketchy, but at least we're hitting our land drops. And if they're a creature deck, we're in good shape. Tapped Watery Grave here. Green-white indicates creature deck to me. Tapped New Dawn or New Adventure. Okay, good for you. Luminarch Aspirant. It's not a card I necessarily want a Baleful Mastery for student cost, but if we have to, we will. I'd much rather just Wrath the board. Non-basic land center. Okay, so we have a basic, so we're fine. So we'll Wrath here. Love-struck Beast. Let's go ahead and Inquisition here. Let's go ahead with the Luminarch Aspirant. And then we can absorb Scavenging Ooze. Second Luminarch Aspirant. That is not what we wanted to see. We'll absorb the Luminarch Aspirant. I think we're going to Cling to Dust one of our own cards to cantrip here. Interesting that they didn't attack with the 1/1. It's just free damage, I think. I don't know what they're playing around. Maybe the Rogue's Splash Creature. Okay, so we're going to Teferi Tuck the token. That turns off the Love Struck Beast. Castle Vantress, good draw. Just gonna Heartless Act to be as mana. That was a mistake. It was such a bad misplay. Just wasted a Heartless Act. Hopefully it doesn't end up mattering. We will not let them resolve that. Hopefully we can find a real counterspell for it. Happy not to draw either of those.
Let's skip to the good part.
Okay, so they're gonna get to resolve a Great Henge. Yep. We'll draw a card with the Vantress here. Taking 3 damage hurts, but ugh. Opponent doesn't know if they want to let us draw a card or not.
Hold that thought.
Cling to Dust. My logic there, gaining 3 life, is that we get to draw another card with Castle Vantress, and it doesn't really do much. They get to make 2 angels here. So we're looking for a Wrath of some kind. There's our Wrath.
Hurry.
One more elves is a redraw for them. Skyclave Apparition. Another redraw. We'll scry 2. Definitely don't want those lands. Another Wrath. Let's go ahead and Inquisition before we do anything else. Mana Tithe. I don't hate getting that out of their hand.
Hold that thought.
Get to cycle that, so that's not bad. As long as they don't draw anything hasty, we're in decent shape here. The only hasty threat I can think of would be Questing Beast, which I don't think that sees very much play. Love Struck Beast. All right. We're gonna scry on upkeep here, see if we can deal with this token. These are both really good. Can always tuck the token.
You need to slow down.
Let's Inquisition them again. Land.
I train every day, knowing with thoughtfulness before action.
I'll take the Search for Escanta. Collected Company. That's brutal. Okay, well, at least they kind of whiff. They get to draw 2 cards off of it. Well, they get to draw 0 cards off of it because of the Narset. We're going to draw a card here. Well, we're only taking 1. Graveyard for sure. Let's transform. Draw a card for turn. Absorb. Draw a card.
Let's skip to the good part.
Activate Narset.
Meditate and prepare.
Shark Typhoon. And pass the turn. So they know about 1 Shark Typhoon, but we actually have 2 blockers here. And I collected company again. We get to eat and trade, protect both of our planeswalkers. I'm gonna go ahead and actually
You know what? I'm not done.
I want to activate Azcanta here to look for a Wrath. No Wrath, but we get a Shark Typhoon. So we get to block twice again. I don't know how opponent is supposed to win this game. It gives +3/+3. We have 11 mana. So we can make a 9/9 shark. So it'll cost him 4 mana. Give +3/+3 would be 6, 7, 8. I forgot about the mana from the Great Henge. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter.
No time for a break.
There's that Wrath we were looking for. I should do it. Any threat they draw is gonna get exiled. And then we're just gonna slowly tick up to Teferi Ultimate. We might have been out of win conditions there. 1, 2, 3. No, we had 1 Shark Typhoon left. So against this deck, they're playing small creatures. How much do we care about the graveyard interaction? for Scavenging Ooze. Probably not a ton. It's kind of sketchy, but I'm gonna keep on the back of Aether Gust Memory Lapse. We draw a Black Source, we get to cast Eliminate. And now any mana source lets us absorb. We're going to Aether Gust that so we don't take 5 this turn. I assume he's got Collected Company here. For a black. Gazandu Mammoth on the bottom. That gets absorbed easy. Easiest absorb of my life.
My prowess is on your prowess.
We just want to find black mana sources now. Specifically black sources, but any mana sources are fine. Narset gains us 4 life, finds us a Shark Typhoon. I'm pretty happy to see that.
Train harder.
Vivian's Advocate, okay.
Beauty lies in variation.
Cling to Dust is not what we're looking for. Oof. Rough. Rough. Surprised they haven't played Ronos here. It's indestructible.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
It's a land off the top. That's what I'm talking about. Let's clear this board. He's going to be able to attack with the Ronos this turn. If he plays it right.
Diversity is our greatest strength.
Okay, so he knows what he's doing. Okay, so that's mana. Oof. Ugh. This is tough. This is a tough position. Take 6 down to 5. The problem is this Vivian. We need to be able to get rid of this Vivian, and we just can't right now. We need a Baleful Mastery for that.
I know my responsibility. Time is much more malleable than people think.
Let's see if this gains us a life. That'll do it. There's no way we're going to be able to beat that. This seems way better than what we had. I'm going to lead on the fetid pools because it's a blue source and a black source. And the next turn we can play one of our check lands. Opponent's considering their 7. Opponent keeps what I can only assume is a sketchy 7. Leech Spellbinder. Let's put that back on top. We're going to go ahead and cycle the Shark Typhoon because if he exiles the Shark Typhoon, we cannot cycle it from exile. It would have been nice if we had that one card sooner. Takes the Shadow's Verdict, which I think is the correct play. We will stay back on defense here. Absorb's a lot worse when the opponent knows about it. If opponent misses their land drop, I'm going to consider exiling this Llanowar Elves. I'm going to do it. In combat there, Mana Tithe. Well, they got us with the Mana Tithe. That auto tapper just fucked us. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that, actually. Gonna make another 1/1 shark here. We'll keep that. So we can only Aether Gust or Absorb. We're going to Aether Gust their elf because they are short on mana here. They leave it on top. We are not going to block. We'll graveyard that. No tax here. Now that we have the mana to Shadow's Verdict, I'm going to let that resolve. We're going to draw a card here. We'll keep. Luminarch Aspirant. We will keep.
Mind and body should keep an open
From
mind.
here, we're in pretty good shape. We'll take the Baleful Mastery. So now that we have Nurse It Down, we can pay the student cost. So it's just strictly better than Doomblade here. Radiant will get absorbed.
I have just the trick for this.
Take Baleful Mastery. Happy to let that sit on the battlefield for a turn. That's fine. Wow, what a whiff. It's pretty bad. We'll draw a card. Another Wrath. Happy to see that. I'll just go ahead and Wrath here. Since we have two, they're a bit redundant. That is fine. Take the Heartless Act. We'll just Heartless Act it right now. Happy to absorb that. From here, the game's pretty well locked up. I don't think there's a way we can lose. Memory Lapse the Collected Company. And that'll do it for the opponent. So, not bad there. Obviously, they got mana screwed, but I think we were able to navigate around that pretty well. So, pretty happy about that game.